Dear students, in this video, I will continue my discussion on Deuteron problem. So student, last time we discussed that we calculate the nuclear potential for deuteron case by considering rectangular potential, and the shape of the potential was assumed to be rectangular potential, and the potential is assumed to be central potential, and we also assumed that the range of the nuclear interactions that is given by the experiments is 2.1 femtometer, and we come up with the shape of the potential something like this. Here we have potential energy, here we have radius, or we can say here we have distance in femtometer. This r is in femtometer, okay, and this is the 0, and this is r is equal to b, which is equal to 2.1 femtometer. So this is region 1, this is region 2. Now this v naught minus v naught is something of the order of that we calculate. It comes out to be 38 mega electron volt. Okay. Now we know that the binding energy of deuteron is minus 2.225 mega electron volt. So on this scale, if from here to here we have 38 mega electron volt, then something around here we will have your binding energy Ed is equal to 2.225 mega electron volt. So this much we have done in our previous class. Okay, so now we are familiar with that how deep is the nuclear potential, because how strong is the nuclear potential will be given by the depth of this potential V naught. So it means the nuclear potential is something of the order of around about 38 mega electron volt, that is depth of the potential well is 38 mega electron volt, and it has a width of 2.1 femtometer. So this type of picture of nuclear potential of simplest case of the nucleus, that is deuteron, is in your mind. Okay. Now today we will discuss about nature of the wave function in deuteron problem, but in that we will discuss nature of the wave functions. Now, you know that in our previous class we have come up with the parameters k1 and alpha, where we have defined k1 is equal to, you have k1 square is equal to m v naught minus ed upon h cut square. Okay, and you have alpha was equal to m ed upon h cut square. Now where your v naught is the depth of potential that we have calculated, comes out to be, your v naught comes out to be 38 mega electron volt, and ed is, we know ed is equal to 2.225 mega electron volt, and your h cut square is reduced value of the Planck's constant. Okay, so this much we have done in our previous class. Now from here you can get the value of k1. So what will be k1? You will have k1 is equal to square root of m v naught minus ed upon h cut, and alpha will be, because this is alpha square. Okay, if this is alpha square, then you have alpha is equal to square root m ed upon h cut. Okay, now from our previous knowledge we know that h cut is basically reduced value of Planck's constant, and h cut is equal to h by 2 pi. Okay, so h is 6.6 into 10 raised to power minus 34 joule second upon 2 pi. So it comes out to be 1.054 into 10 raised to power minus 34 joule second. Okay. Now we will be working with, because the energy unit we are using is mega electron volt. Now we have to convert this joule into mega electron volt, and from the relation you know that 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 joule. Okay, it means 1 mega electron volt will be equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 13 joule. Okay, it means 1 joule is equal to, then 1 joule will be equal to 1 upon 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 13 mega electron volt. So putting this value in this equation, okay, so you will get this H cut in terms of mega electron volt. Okay, when you do this calculation, you will find that your H cut comes out to be 6 point, approximately 6 point, it is basically the exact value 6.58, but I am writing 6.6 into 10 raised to power minus 22 mega electron volt second. Okay, because I have converted the joule into mega electron volt. Okay, so this value is what you will get when you will do your calculation. Okay, now we know that this M, the mass, because mass, this mass is a reduced mass. Okay, we have doing this problem in a reduced mass, we are considering it a one body problem. Okay, so this M can be taken as mass of proton or neutron. So we know that in a mega electron volt you have, suppose I consider mass of proton or neutron, this M is approximately 938 mega electron volt by c square. Okay, because we know that E is equal to mc square. Okay, because when we convert mass into energy, so we get mega electron volt by c square. Okay, now putting all these values in this equation, let this equation is equation number 1 and this equation is equation number 2. Okay, now when we will put these values in this equation, we will get K1 is equal to, now you know that M is 938 upon c square under the root. Now c square will become c, so you will get K1 under the root 938 into V naught minus ED. Now V naught is 38, ED is 2.225, so I take ED is approximately 2, so we will get 938 into 36, okay, upon divided by H cut C. Okay, now this H cut C you can calculate, because H cut C you can calculate, and when you will do the calculation of H cut C, now here your unit will be, because this is in under root, so this will be mega electron volt. Okay, now what is value of H cut C? Because H cut is constant, C is constant, so H cut C will be in mega, H cut C will be, because H cut is 6.6 into 10 raised to power minus 22 mega electron volt second. Now C is 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. So this second and this second will go cancel out. Okay, now you are left with mega electron volt meter. Now when you will do the calculation, now this H cut C, approximately this H cut C comes out to be 200 mega electron volt femtometer. Okay, you can do it yourself and you will find that H cut C comes out to be 200 mega electron volt femtometer. Now putting the values, now you will get your K1 is equal to, now 938 into 36, you can do it by your calculator. So when you will solve it, here you will get something around 183 and mega electron volt, because this mega electron volt of H cut C, you will have 1 mega electron volt, and femtometer you will get this K1 is equal to upon sorry Now this is mega electron volt, है ना? So H per C is 200 mega electron volt femtometer. Okay, so mega electron volt gone, because this 183 approximately 183 you get when you solve this square root 938 into 36 square root. When you will solve, you will get approximately this way. So this will be, when you will solve, you will get approximately 0.9 femtometer inverse. So this is K1. Okay, so you have got the value of K1 approximately 0.91 femtometer inverse. Okay, I think you are very much clear with this calculation. This is very basic calculation and you should do it yourself also. Okay, now so I have K1. What is my K1? I can rub this part. So I have K1 is equal to 0.9 femtometer inverse. Similar calculation I can do for alpha, but I will do it later. Okay. Now you have K1. Now let me calculate the wave function for region 1, because we have a wave function for region 1. U1r is equal to a sine K1r. Okay. Now when we will now let us calculate the value of this wave function at the edge of the potential. Okay. Now at the edge of the potential means at r is equal to b, which is equal to 2.1 femtometer. Now you also know the K1 now, because K1 is 0.91 femtometer inverse. Okay. Put all values of value of r. Now calculating this value at the edge of the well, because I have drawn the potential. If this is my potential well, I have rubbed it. Okay, this is the edge. This is 0. This is r in femtometer. This r equal to b, which is 2.1 femtometer. Because outside this you have b equal to 0. So at the edge of the well, now let us calculate u1r. Okay. So let's do the calculation of u1r at the edge of the potential. Okay. Now this is u1r sine, because I have to calculate the value of this sine function, sine K1 r. Okay. At the edge of the potential this r will become b, because at edge of the potential this r will be equal to b. So this can be written as K1 b. At the edge of the potential this is K1 b. Now put the values. Sine K1 is 0.9. I have done the calculation. Femtometer inverse, and b is 2.1. 2.1. Okay. That's because the femtometer inverse and this is femtometer, they will cancel out. Now this is in radian, so you calculate sine 0.9 into 2.1. When you multiply 0.9 with 2.1, you will get approximately 1.9. So sine of 1.9 in radian will give you 0.95. Okay. Then you solve the, because this is in radian. This is not in degree. Sine of 1.9 degree. It is sine of 1.9 radian. Okay. So you will get sine of 1.9 is equal to 0.95. So this is in region 1. Okay. And I have calculated this value at the edge of the potential. Now when this value will be maximum? Now this value will be maximum when your K1b, or you can say K1r equal to pi by 2. For you know that the maximum value of sin theta is at 90 degree. So your wave function u1r will be maximum. U1r will be maximum when K1r is equal to pi by 2. Okay. Or you can say that K1r is equal to 3.14 by 2, which is equal to 1.57. Okay. You can say that r is equal to 1.57 upon K1, and K1 is 0.9. So you will get r is equal to 1.74 femtometer. Okay. Now this is for the region 1. Now let me draw it. What it means. Okay. Very basic calculation, very important and calculation. Now this is like this. Okay. Now this side I have r. This side I have r in femtometer. Okay. And this is my u1, or I can simply say the u1. Okay. So now suppose this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. So something here, 2, 3. This is femtometer. On x axis femtometer. 1 femtometer, 2 femtometer, 3 femtometer, 4 femtometer, 5 femtometer, 6 femtometer, 7 femtometer, 8 femtometer. So on. Okay. Now in region 1, because because our region 1 is from r equal to 0 to r equal to 2.1 or r equal to b. So here our region 1 is over at 2.1. So at the maximum value of the wave function is at 1.74. So 1.74 will be somewhere here. So suppose this is maximum value. Okay. So the wave function goes like this. Okay. This. So this is the maximum value of the wave function, and this point is where it is maximum. It is basically r is equal to 1.7. Now this is 2.1. This is 2.1. Okay. This point is 2.1 femtometer. Okay. Now at the 2.1, the wave function gets 95%. 0.95 means if at 1.74 it is maximum. It is 100%. So there is 5% fall. There is 5% fall. Okay. So this is in region 1. This is how wave function behaves in region 1. Basically it is continuous. It is continuous. There is no gaps. Okay. Because wave function has to be continuous. Okay. This is about the nature of wave function in region 1. Okay. Now let me do it for the region 2. Now similarly we can do that because we have alpha, because our wave function in region 2 we have done it. But what was our wave function in region 2? In previous class, u2r, that was equal to b e minus alpha r. Okay. Because b dash is 0 in that case, so we are only left with this term. Okay. So now what is alpha? Alpha I have done. Alpha is equal to root m ed upon h. Okay. H. Now you can do the similar calculation for this also. Okay, because you know m. You have m is equal to 938 mega electron volt because upon c square. Remember, you have to write c square because Einstein relation is E equal to mc square. Okay, so your m will be E by c square. Okay, so this c square is very important to write in the denominator. Okay, otherwise this will not be dimensionally correct. So again you will get h cut c. Okay, and ed. So by doing the calculation, when you will do the calculation, you will find that this comes out to be, because m is 938 into 2.225, okay, mega electron volt upon h cut c, and h cut c I have already calculated. H cut c is 200 mega electron volt femtometer. Okay, it is 200 mega electron volt femtometer. Okay. When you will do this calculation, you will find that this value alpha comes out to be 0.2 Here alpha comes out to be 0.2314 femtometer. When you will do the calculation, your alpha comes out to be this much. Okay, that is basically femtometer inverse, because femtometer is in denominator. Okay. Now what is 1 by alpha? 1 by alpha will be 1 upon 0.2314 femtometer inverse, and that will be equal to approximately 4.3 femtometer. Now this is very good. Now, because whenever you have any exponential function of the form e equal to minus alpha r, suppose, then what is 1 by, but then at r equal to 1 by alpha, then suppose you put the r equal to 1 by alpha, then at r equal to 1 by alpha, your wave function will reduce to 1 by e of its original value. Okay, 1 by e means 30% of its original value. Okay, because now if let me do more calculation. Let me make it more simple. Okay, if you have a wave function or in second region u2 r is equal to exponential minus alpha r, then at r equal to 1 by alpha, okay, you will get u2 r is equal to 1 by e. It means the wave function will reduce to 1 by e of its maximum value. 1 by e is 37% of its maximum value. Okay, it means the wave function will get, because here it is maximum value at 1.74. So at a distance of 4.3 femtometer from the center, the wave function will reduce to, here you will have somewhere around here you have 4.31. So wave function will reduce to 37% of maximum value. So wave function will be something like this. Okay, it will be, basically it is exponential curve. Okay. So what information you get from this nature of the wave function in region 1 and region 2? So this basically, in this region you have a sine k1r, and in this region, because this is region 1, this is region 1. Okay, this is region 1 and this is region 2. Okay, and here you have b is equal to sorry, your wave function is equal to be minus alpha r. Okay, basically the you have a continuous, this because the wave function has to be continuous at the boundary. Okay, at the boundary wave function will only be continuous if you have a negative slope. In region 1 you have a negative slope, so that's why only then wave function will be continuous, because here you have an exponential decaying function in region 2, and in region 1 it will only be continuous if you have a negative slope in the region 1, then only they will be continuous at the boundary. Now what information you get from this? Now we have already assumed, or from the experiment we have got that the range or the strength of nuclear interaction for the case of deuterium is 2.1 femtometer. But what we found is that the wave function extends beyond the range of nuclear interaction. Okay, so it means that if your wave function extends beyond the range of nuclear interaction, it means that most of the time neutron and protons are separated by a distance which is much larger than the range of nuclear interaction. That means, in other words, we can say that most of the time wave function is outside the well. Okay, so this also means that wave function extends beyond the range of nuclear interaction. So what it means, it clearly hints you that, or it clearly gives you the evidence that we do not expect any excited state, because any energy given to it will make it unbound, because you have mostly you have wave function outside because if I draw the potential well diagram, that was like this. Okay, compare it, you compare your this nature of wave function with your nature of potential. Okay, no, but this was our nature of potential, just a minute, that we have calculated from our calculation. This was the potential. Okay, that we derived with the assumption that it is a rectangular potential, it is a central potential. Okay, that's all thing we have. So this is potential region 1, this is potential region 2, and in the region 2 we do not expect any wave function. But what we find here, we find that the wave function extends in region 2. It means most of the time neutron and protons are separated by a distance that is much larger than the strength of their nuclear interaction. It means it is a very weakly bound system. If it is a very weakly bound system, so it means that there is no excited state for this neutron, because if you give it any energy, then it will unbound. Okay, that is also clear from the binding energy, because this is minus V naught, that is approximately 38 mega electron volt depth. Okay, with a depth of 38 mega electron volt, and binding energy is something about this 2.225 mega electron volt. So if you give it any energy, it will come, the neutron and proton system will become unbound. Okay, so that's all for today. So we will meet in next class. Thank you.